Yay. Okay. Looks like we are live on YouTube and Facebook. And in just a moment, we're going to be live on Instagram. There we go. Okay, that's perfect. So I am excited as part of our patient spotlights. I've been doing these interviews with our successful patients, which everyone's successful, but I love getting to interview and just talk, and so people can get a real idea about what it's like to go through a transformation like this. And so we have a special guest. Esther, would you say hi to everyone?
Hi.
Esther is part of the Fast40 program, and I want to just hear, Esther, from you. What day are you on? How much weight have you lost? And talk to me.
So I am on day 39 and I have lost a total of 12 pounds.
12 pounds. And can I, for those of you who have seen Esther, I got to see her 39 days ago. And 39 days ago, she does not look like the same woman. Her face, your face looks literally, I almost don't even recognize you. I'm serious. I'm not just saying that.
Thank you.
Have other people noticed this?
My husband and a few close friends definitely have noticed it.
I see it in your face. You look so different. Losing 12 pounds of fat. What have you noticed? Well, first of all, did you starve yourself to lose this weight? Have you been over exercising? What did you do to lose this weight?
Okay, first of all, I've not been starving myself because I will not have made it. I am not want to starve myself. I love food, so I have not starved myself. I have not been over exercising, just 20 to 30 minutes of cardio, and I have lost the weight with just that.
Wow. 20 to 30 minutes of cardio. And when you say cardio, are you running, you walking? What are you doing?
Just walking, like a light walk on my treadmill, or go to Costco and walk around grocery shopping. But yeah, that's it.
So no heavy weightlifting, no heavy
Nope.
exercising. And so Esther, I was saying this before we got on the call. A lot of people, before they get on the phone with me, they spend money on trainers and diet programs. I would just go off the phone with someone, or a call with someone who in 1 year lost 15 pounds working out 4 to 5 times a week and eating right in a year. So you've lost almost that much in 39 days and you didn't do this, right? So you're not starving yourself, which is really important.
Right.
What changes have you had physically, mentally, emotionally from going through the Fast40 program?
So I feel like I don't get afternoon crashes anymore. I remember before in the afternoon around 3 or 3:30, about 4 o'clock, before my kids got home from school, I was like, oh my God, I need a nap, or I need a break, because I'd feel like I was so tired, but I don't feel that anymore. My afternoons are just like I'm breezing through the afternoon. I feel amazing. I don't feel the afternoon crashes. My
Wow.
body feels super light and just good, and just I sleep better. Mentally, I now understand what it truly means to make the right choices for my body and food. I used to, I realize now that I was actually like food was controlling me, but now I'm in charge of my food. And you have helped me like just completely reshape my understanding of what food means to me. And it has really helped me look at food as, a source of fuel, a source of nutrition, not, just as a source of, fun, or I'm bored, now I'm eating. But you've like your program has so much, like it has transformed how I look at food completely. And I'm just like super excited. After day 40, I've learned so much that I will take on, that I know will serve me for the rest of my life. So I'm super, super excited about that.
Wow, Esther, I feel tears in my eyes because a few things. I want to. You don't need to share how old you are if you don't want to, but I kind of want to know because people are hearing you say, "I have my energy back." Like that doesn't happen. I have people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s who've lost their energy, and your energy's back. And these women have gone to their doctor who told them you have low energy because you're turning 40, because you're turning 50, because you're a woman. And that is bullshit. That is
Amen.
bullshit.
I am 41 years old, and I feel amazing. Like seriously, I just feel great.
It's so good.
Yes.
Energy's back. And I love one of the big things you said was your relationship with food. And what I found is that in general, our society, our culture, our country, in terms of healthcare, which is mostly medical care, has really screwed up our belief systems for food. And here's how that works. When was the last time, Esther, you went to your doctor and you said, "Hey, could you help me figure out how to eat right?"
No, I mean, I have never, just because I don't believe they have that understanding.
Interesting. I think what you said was very honest. I don't know anyone who goes to their doctor and asks them how to eat right. Now, I feel that's kind of messed up. We don't even feel we can't even ask our doctors how to eat right. That's interesting. When was the last time, Esther, you went to your doctor and asked them how to exercise?
Never.
So this is the reality of our healthcare system. We live in a country right now. We spend billions. We're in the top 3 in billions of healthcare. But we have doctors that we don't want to ask about how to eat right. We have doctors we don't want to ask about how to exercise. So we go, what the heck are the doctors there for? Well, which medication do I take? These are medicine doctors. Now, I'm saying that's fantastic for emergency. Thank God we have doctors for emergency. But what has happened is that our regular healthcare, the emergency care, has become regular healthcare. And I say this because we don't trust them to actually get us healthy. We trust when we've gotten sick.
Right.
But if we don't know how to actually stay healthy, we're going to end up getting sick. And so I love what you said was like our relationship with food. We have been taught to suppress our appetite, especially as a woman. You got to suppress your appetite, Esther. Like that's a bad, you don't want a good metabolism. Like hunger is a negative thing. When in reality, you now know hunger is your God-given mechanism to find out if I need fuel. Thank you, God, for that.
Yes.
Thank you. And you've learned to fuel your body, not starve it. You can't starve yourself to be healthy. So I love this. What has been the impact in other areas of your life? I'm curious just to ask you, relationship, career, driven from losing weight and getting your energy back.
I think I have this like new, just like a revitalized mindset. I'm like, I'm doing this big thing for my health, and it's not been, easy, but it's been a big challenge that I've taken on head on. And that is now giving me, the mindset of, if I'm doing this big, wonderful thing for my health, I can also do this big, wonderful thing for my career, for my
Nice.
family. Like, it's just giving me a whole different outlook with everything that I'm doing. And also, like I said, it also stems from feeling so good that I feel like, oh, I can do better with my work. I can do better with my kids. So just this energy that I feel like it's just transferring over to everything else.
I love that. I love hearing you say that. And I love hearing you at 41, at 41 to say, I had this energy I want to put into my life. You know how many 41-year-olds are tired and slow and they don't have energy, not just for their family, but much less their career and what they're doing. So I love hearing you say that. Could you tell us then, like what I know you wanted to share? I see you're part of the group home academy. Could you share what you do?
Okay, so basically, what I do is I help other people that have group homes. Some people call them adult foster care homes, adult family homes. So I help them put systems in place that will help them attain operational excellence. And I
Hmm.
help them grow their businesses without burnout, because that's a huge thing in the industry. People grow their businesses, then they crash because they either didn't do it the right way, they're overwhelmed, they're overworked, they don't have enough workers. So they're like stressed out. So that's where I come in and help them not do that. I help them grow their business in a way that they still enjoy being a business owner, and they feel that they can enjoy entrepreneurship.
So so I love this niche. Are you a business coach for group homes or for
Yes, for group of owners, yeah, existing owners, yeah.
homeowners? What
Mhm.
a cool niche. How long have you been doing this?
Actually, the consulting program, I've just been doing it for the last 2 years, but I own my own group homes that I've been doing for almost 10 years now. So in my
Wow.
group homes, we serve adults who have mental illness and developmental disabilities, and we provide 24-hour residential care for them. So
Wow.
we've excelled in our business, and so I want to share with people how we've done it.
That is so cool. This is an interesting tie-in, Esther, because one of my missions is and this might sound, but I want to keep people out of group homes unless they need it.
Yeah.
because thank God we have those. Thank
Right.
God. I mean, and so what I found though is like, what are the things we can do now to stay healthy, right? And one of the things you've done right now is getting 12 pounds of fat off your body and feeling energy, and not feeling your mouth. The average person in our country by 60 and 70, they're on 10 different medications, and it's quite complex. And so that's pretty wild to see. I try to make that sort of transition for people to try to make a different directional change for their life. So I love what you're doing. And I was going to ask you, how did you find out about me?
So here's a little backstory that I don't think I told you. But this year, I don't do New Year resolutions, but I was like, I set goals. So this year, some of the goals that I set for myself, one of the top ones was to optimize my health and nutrition. So I went out and hired a personal coach, and then I still was missing, the piece of how do I optimize my nutrition.
Hmm.
I didn't know where to start. And I came to a conference, the accelerator event for BBG, and that's how I met someone that had taken your program, and they were like speaking so highly of you. So I had a conversation with you. And so when we had the conversation, we were like, okay, we're going to get back together after the conference. And so when we spoke, I knew that this was what I was missing. I knew this was what I needed. Like, for me, it was just about putting that stake in the ground and being like, I am doing this. I am taking control of my nutrition and my health, and I will do what it takes. When I had the
Mm.
conversation with you when we met, I was like, okay, this is it. This sounds like a wonderful program. I met somebody who had done it and loved it. And I was
Right.
like, okay, I am doing it. This is for me. I am doing it. And, we had a wonderful conversation, and I've had a great experience with you so far, and I've been loving it.
Well, I want to give you a lot of credit, Esther. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know. Thank you for telling that story. I didn't realize that was even before meeting me. I want to give you a lot of credit because it's one thing to coach someone. Esther, you coach business owners, and it's I love the coaching, but it's a bigger thing to be coachable yourself. I think it's easy to coach. I think
Yeah.
it's harder to be coached.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
especially, yeah, I work with a lot of I primarily work with high-powered women. That's what I attract, like you. And so to be able to sit back and go, "Okay, I'm gonna take this advice from this guy."
It's been
I
hard. I'm not. It's been hard. I'm not lying. I'm like, but he asked me to do what? Why do I have to do this thing? But I'm doing it because I trust you and I've seen the results. And you've done the research is there. I'm just like stubborn, like you said. I'm like, yeah, I'll just do it.
what was some of the things that were hard that I asked you to do? Would you share?
Like when you are like the lotions, like keeping all oils, off your body, and me being like, okay, I need to find an oil-free lotion because I trust the research. I trust Dr. Golman. He's done this for so many years. So I'm a reasonable. I'm like, I'll be like grouchy and angry about it, but then reasonable. I'm like, he knows what he's doing. I better trust him. I better trust him. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
something like the oil-free lotion. I'm like, what? So just little things like those.
Yeah. Isn't that so interesting? Over the years, and Esther, one of the ways that I figured this out, I'm talking like probably 10 years ago, one of my close friends owned a hair salon, and I fast 40 wasn't even a thing. We started, I was figuring out how to do this naturally, and we had her down like 10 pounds or whatever, and by 20 days. And what was interesting was one day her weight loss just stopped. Matter of fact, she started gaining, and I couldn't figure it out. And I finally was like, I'm going to spend the day with you. And I went in, and the only thing she changed was she stopped wearing gloves while doing patients' hair. That's it. And I was like, I didn't get it at the time. And then I looked at the bottle. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're washing people with these shampoos and conditioners, all kinds of oils. So all we did, it took about a week to figure this out. We put gloves back on, and the weight just started coming off.
That's
And so
crazy.
I've not read this in a book. I didn't find that in some kind of anatomy textbook. I've only figured this out from working with patients. And so, and then you start realizing your skin is so amazing. It absorbs. That's why we put lotion on it, because it absorbs it. And it is fat. And so I've been able to call us the Fast 40 now, because we remove the things that would make slow weight loss. And every single time someone does a massage, someone has a manicure, someone has a pedicure, or someone washes the dishes with their soap, the dish soap that has oils on it, they'll literally lose less weight.
Mm.
And it is so wild to see this. And so I'm really most grateful for you for taking this in and learning, because I know that what you learned during these 40 days, you'll take with you after long term. Truly. So
Yes.
tomorrow we're gonna get your total inches and total, because you're gonna do all the measurements. And I can't wait to see those. Hopefully we get to share those with us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. And you know the other thing that I've realized for myself is, in one of your modules, you talk about food as a dopamine rush, like the good food that we are used to, the cakes and and all that. And I never looked at it that way. I was just like, it's delicious, it tastes good, but you reframed my thinking around what we call delicious food, and what it truly is like a dopamine rush.
Oh
So I can
wow.
actually look at food that way and be like, yeah, it looks good, but it's a dopamine rush. So in the
Mm.
future, when I'm able to incorporate some of those foods once in a while, I will still be able to look at it as I don't have to eat the whole piece. I can
Ooh,
have just a few bites. I
this
can
is
have
big.
just a few bites and enjoy that cake. I can say, oh, I enjoyed that cake, and not feel like I have to do the whole thing. I have to eat the whole thing, because you have taught me to look at food like, yes, it tastes good and all that, but you have to train. Why does your brain think of something as good? Why
Wow.
does my brain look at meat and veggies, lean meats and veggies one way, but then look at a cake another way?
Yeah, I love that.
You
I
know.
love that. Thank you for that reminder, and saying this to people, because that's what you just said there is we could probably go hours on, but that is so big. Um, I want to say specifically, just to add to what you just said, to help with this rewiring. This is so big. I noticed with myself, and as you tell me if this resonates, I number one, if I'm hungry, I always make sure I eat on time. If we don't eat on time, your brain will seek sugar. That's number one. Number two, before I eat sugar, I ask myself how I'm feeling in the moment. If I feel bad, I won't eat the sugar. And it's because I
Mm.
realized, oh my gosh, I was creating false sense of feeling good, but not feeling. And so I will literally, Esther, you've seen this in the videos, I will literally go sit on my couch and feel bad. Seriously, I'll feel sad. I'm gonna let myself feel sad. And by the time I'm done and feeling sad, I don't want the freaking sugar anymore. That's what I started noticing. I'm like, this is really interesting.
I
So
love that. I'm gonna be using that for sure.
yeah, exactly. And
Yes.
that's part of what our primitive brain is wired. So primitive survival is avoid pain, chase pleasure. And so part of what you are doing, what you just said there with your rewiring, you are training your primitive animal brain. You're training it to not avoid pain and chase pleasure. That truly is human evolution. So you have evolved your animal brain into the advanced frontal lobe thinking. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so great. You're so great. Esther, thanks for being on. Anything else you want to say?
I definitely the emotional piece of things is the one that I know I have to work on, because and I think that's one of the reasons I also love this program so much, because it's not just a weight loss program. It's, you talk a lot about how you're feeling and how it relates to your weight. So I do love that this program is so holistic. It addresses our emotional needs, our physical needs, how we think about things. I do love that holistic portion of it, because there's so many people that lose weight, but they're still unhappy, and so
Yeah.
they end up getting, the weight again. But I do honestly, that is one of my favorite things about this program. It is just everything, the emotions, the thoughts and the physical piece of it. So I really absolutely love that.
Wow. Thanks for that feedback.
Hmm.
Esther, I just it's literally this week. I've been working on it for the last month. You saw I have a framework inside our program called Thriver, and I've been really trying to figure out, okay, how do I get people to maintain not just the fat loss but health and create longevity and vitality. And so I'm literally creating a bi-weekly group, and you'll see this next week. Every week we'll meet and we actually get to discuss these how to feel emotions, how to process through emotions, because none of us have ever been shown how to do that. In
No.
America, we're shown how to repress emotions, right?
Yep.
And so it's quite a process. And then how to actually rewire the brain. So I have a whole bunch of stuff that's involved in that, and you're going to see that coming out, because what you just said is so important. Is how do we feel our emotions? How do we rewire our thoughts for long-term success in really all areas of life, not just health. So thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
you see that, Nov. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem.
So good. So good. You're such a winner. I hope you love yourself for what you've done.
Thank you. I do. I believe I do.
Awesome. That is so cool. All
Yeah.
right. Well, we will sign off. Esther, thanks for being on here. And I can, if you want the access to this video,
Yeah.
I will record it. I can download it and send it to you. Just send me a message on WhatsApp.
I will. And actually, I don't know if you have time for